Have you ever felt that you were deficient in wisdom? I know I have. But we have such a great promise, as it says in James. If anyone is deficient in wisdom, he should ask God, who gives to all generously and without reprimand, and it will be given to him. All we have to do is ask in faith, believing that he will give it because he said he would. We must also seek to find wisdom, not in the world, but from God. Then he will be faithful to reveal his wisdom to us if we are seeking. Hi, I'm Tracy with KOGmissions.com, and welcome to Simple Bible Truth. I hope to encourage you in your faith and inspire you to seek truth, to love God, and to obey Jesus. God has spoken to us in Scripture and through Jesus, so to find wisdom, we must start there. I believe that if we put His wisdom and His words into our minds and our hearts, He will draw them out when we need His wisdom. I don't think it is about hearing some audible voice from heaven or seeing visions. And if we are in a situation where we must make a decision, this should help us, along with His Spirit directing us in our spirit. It isn't some mystical, magical, super spiritual experience. It's simply hearing God's words through Scripture and applying them to your life in every decision. It's also about obeying His words and His direction when He does speak to us in that way. If we call ourselves Christians and believe the Bible holds God's words that He inspired His people to write, then God has spoken. He has spoken through the prophets, and as Hebrews says, He has now spoken through His Son. The question is, are we listening? And are we willing to listen? As it says in Colossians 1, 3 through 14, your faith and love have arisen from the hope laid up for you in heaven, which you have heard about in the message of truth, the gospel that has come to you. He can fill you with the knowledge of His will and in spiritual wisdom and understanding. Isn't that what we're seeking? And the reason is so that you may live worthily of the Lord and please Him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good deed, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, for the display of all patience and steadfastness, joyfully giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the saints' inheritance in the light. So here we see why we need His wisdom, so that we may live worthily of the Lord and please Him in all respects, and so that we can bear fruit. That is important too. Hearing His words and choosing to believe them and obey them will strengthen us with all His power, and we will become His heirs. We will also grow in spiritual wisdom and understanding, and we will grow in the knowledge of God. So as a Christian, who doesn't want to do that? This is the beginning of a series on the book of Proverbs. We will not be examining every verse, but we will be pulling some of God's wisdom out of each chapter. It will be a sort of devotion, tying the wisdom there to our daily lives and to our faith. Please subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss the first devotion on Proverbs 1. Hoping to see you again soon, and until then, keep seeking truth, loving God, and obeying Jesus.